Thank you, Michael. My name is Ed Groark. I'm the chairman of Worldwatch Institute and the acting president right now. I want to thank all of you for coming out on such a beautiful day and giving up that sunshine to spend an afternoon with us. And I want to thank the perhaps hundreds of people around the world who are watching this event on a live cast that we have. And we have an awful lot of people who have registered for that. So I think we've got a great program today. As always, there are many people to thank for this edition of State of the World, beginning with all of you who have supported Worldwatch and our work over the past 40 years. In addition to our individual donors, we are especially grateful to those institutions that have provided us with unrestricted support. The Ray C. Anderson Foundation, the Del Mar Global Trust, Garfield Foundation, the Hitz Foundation, the Stephen Luthold Family Foundation, the Lewis Foundation, MAP Royalty, the Quixote Foundation, the Randall's Family Living Trust, the Serendipity Foundation, the Shenandoah Foundation, the Flora L. Thornton Foundation, and the Jonette Wallenstein Institute. So these organizations have supported many of them have supported us for decades, and we're extremely grateful for the support we get to provide this kind of information to the world. I don't have to tell you that revenues from book sales are declining everywhere. Yes, the New York Times and the Washington Post about that. So we're still able to produce this book, and we do depend on unrestricted support to help us do that. Second, I want to thank all the contributors to the 2015 edition, especially those who are with us today. But those who could not, several have worldwide connections, but many are unaffiliated experts with busy lives and many commitments who generously responded to our call for their expertise and insight into our publication. We quite literally could not produce a State of the World without the broad reach of expertise we're able to pull into these publications. We also owe a major debt of gratitude to David Miller and his team at Island Press, the publishers of the English language version of State of the World for the last 4 years. In addition to that, we also thank all of our foreign publishers who translate this book into foreign languages and distribute it around the world. Currently, we're being translated into Chinese, Japanese, Spanish, Italian, Turkish, Portuguese, Bulgarian, and other languages as well. So there really is a global readership for this publication. Well, after 40 years of research and over 30 annual reports of State of the World, we must acknowledge that as a civilization, we're a long way from being able to say that we've turned the corner and are reining in our runaway global consumption of resources. Nor can we say that we see a clear path to a future where people are living in balance with the resources available to our planet. Although we see elements of progress around us, we also see that it doesn't add up to a net reduction of consumption against the momentum of the status quo systems providing energy, food, transportation, et cetera, to all of us. So the book we launched today is the third in a series devoted to looking at the path to sustainability. The first in the series, the 2013 edition of State of the World, had the title, Is Sustainability Still Possible? It's a very provocative question we asked, and the word still, of course, suggests that the past several decades we failed to act decisively and have made the challenge of achieving sustainability even more difficult than it would have been if we got a head start on this in the 70s. During this time of inaction, we veered significantly further from the goal, and in this book we argued against the increasing dilution of the term sustainability, something we term sustainababble, and we strove to reorient the global discussion of sustainability to the real goal in order to concentrate focus on the real challenge ahead of us. In the 2014 edition of State of the World, titled Governing for Sustainability, we took a look at the role of governments in pursuing global sustainability. And as we know, global and national governments have done an extremely poor job of taking responsibility for acting at this level. However, as most of you know, there's been a tremendous amount of action from the bottom up at the city level, and there are thousands of mayors around the world who are banding together, forming organizations to help each other make some really dramatic progress in urban sustainability. In fact, we applaud this initiative, and this current year are making a big study of urban sustainability to make it the theme for next year's State of the World, to really inform the world of what's happening at the city level, which is really quite dramatic. So we complete the series with the 2015 edition of State of the World, which we're here to see today. It's titled Confronting the Hidden Threats to Sustainability. In this book, we acknowledge that certain frightening consequences of our decades of inaction are now virtually assured in this century from our failure to address carbon buildup in the atmosphere and over-exploitation of natural resources. So we bring forth a set of issues that are largely not covered by the press, as the press is focusing discussion on a small set of issues like global ice melt and sea level rise, but really there's a whole host of other issues that are floating around. Many of you had told me that Worldwatch focuses too much on bad news. I do hear that from people. And certainly in the early days of Worldwatch in the 70s, our job was really informing the world that there was an issue brewing. And now we really spend more time promoting solutions than we do talking about problems. But this book we thought was a good way to end our series, to really just remind people that there really are consequences to inaction. So let me describe the vision of our mission going forward. We'll be engaging more directly with the rapidly growing sustainability movement than we have in the past. We see the Worldwatch Institute's role as one of amplifying the work of sustainability professionals, of which there are now thousands working around the world full-time. These professionals are working in city governments, manufacturing corporations, agricultural corporations, energy utilities. They're designers of urban transportation systems, water and waste systems, and these are really where we're beginning to target our research to assist them directly in achieving results. To that end, we're currently working with partners in urban sustainability movement, and we're developing three things. We're developing visions of what a sustainable city could look like to help them inspire city leaders to reach for transformative change in their cities. We're documenting case studies of dramatic change that have been achieved by cities around the world in different aspects of sustainability to help other cities learn from their examples. And third, we're going to be charting some paths to an 80% greenhouse gas reduction by 2050, which is a pledge that now hundreds of cities have taken, and yet few of them actually have a plan to do so. So we're really going to start laying out the kind of changes that will be necessary in cities to reach a goal like that by 2050. So these are the challenges our urban sustainability partners are facing today. They've communicated to us that those are the three biggest issues they would like some help with. And so that's the challenge we've taken on for ourselves. In future years, we're going to collaborate with other sustainability groups. For example, the industrial food production, corporate sustainability, sustainable consumerism, these kinds of issues. So our work will always continue to be available to the public, as it is now, in both paper and electronic formats. So even though we're directing our research into professional communities, we're also translating that for interested readers around the world. To address the new reading habits of our loyal readers in our ever more connected world, our work will increasingly be produced in electronic formats, consumable the way many people in the public now like to consume information, through search engines, through social media, and through aggregation websites. So I want to thank you for coming today, and I want to thank all the folks who are listening in on the live stream. I think we do have an exciting program today, and so I welcome you, and please stay with us for the afternoon. I'm going to put Michael back to begin the program.